So I'm very honored to launch this record. It's the inaugural record by the Beautiful Blue. It is the story of my family's history, and the story of the Holocaust. So both my grandparents were in the Holocaust, and this is sort of the story of the Holocaust put to music. I am going to take you through each song on the record and sort of just tell you what that song was about. So the first song is called What It Was Like. That song was added almost at the very end of the completion of the record. It was like a late last-minute add. And I was like, what was missing was that moment before the start of the Second World War, when the Jewish people, and I know my relatives, they were like part of these countries. Like my grandfather fought in the First World War for Hungary. My grandmother lived happily in Czechoslovakia. It was Czechoslovakia at the time. They felt like they were part of those countries. That's what they knew. They absorbed the culture of these countries. They saw themselves as Czechoslovakians, and my grandfather's from Transylvania. He saw himself as, so this is about that, right? Long before this was even a thought or a reality in anybody's mind. It was just about belonging. So I'd say more than anything, it's a song about belonging in those little European countries, in those European towns, in those European cities.
I wonder what it was like to be born before the storm, to walk in Europe's fields, to drink from its trenches of war.
The second song is called Mourning Angels. I wanted to create a song about these angels that are looking over the world, and particularly over Europe before the war, and they know what's coming. So even before any of this starts, while people are going about their normal daily lives, working away, making ends meet, and living hopefully very happy lives, the angels know what's coming. And so it's sort of, they're already mourning even because they know what's about to happen. So Blur the Future looks at the period when things are sort of starting to turn. We're seeing an increase in racism and anti-Semitism, and you can just feel something isn't right. But the people are still sort of going on about their daily lives, hopeful that this is just a moment in time, it's gonna pass. And so that's what the song talks about, and it's right in the title, the idea that we're sort of seeing the future, but we're not seeing it clearly. Maybe we're even in a little bit of denial. We don't really acknowledge it. We're making excuses for it.
Take my hand and climb with me, climb with me. I can see the future.
I really wanted to make things much darker and start to really push the story forward musically. And Everything Is Okay is the very last moment before Kristallnacht. And whenever you talk about the Holocaust, Kristallnacht is a defining moment. And so this is the very last moment where people have not left. There's many people that have not left because they still think everything is going to be okay. And we know the answer to the question. So that's what this song is about. And for the first time, you're hearing German voices, Nazi voices, talking about what is to come. When the Nazis ran around breaking the glass of Jewish stores, synagogues, homes, I think at that point and at that moment, people start to realize we're not going back and things are about to get a lot worse. I did it with a wonderful electronic musician and friend, Jean-Luc, and Jean-Luc actually took real glass, real crystal, and he sort of, wet his fingers and ran it over the rim, and then, recorded it and synthesized it. I think he really added so much to it.
Stand up, all you chosen souls.
The war has started. This is the moment, the beginning of the Second World War. And one final day symbolizes the way that countries and leaders motivate their young people to go to war. And this is sort of a side theme throughout the record. This idea that when we're born, we don't have enemies. I mean, we might fight with the kid over a ball at the park, but at the end of the day, we don't see ourselves really as different.
Rise up, all you mighty sons. Light up, all you golden sons. Give glory and honor to the past. Our future saved from dirty migrants.
But then we grow up in countries and cities and towns, and these differences are created. We have to convince young people that the reason we want them to go and fight a war is the right reason and the just reason. And that's what this song is about. Stand up, all you chosen sons. Stand up, all you glorious ones. Boots is the most stark tune probably on the record. It symbolizes the Nazis marching into towns across Europe and taking them over. First-person shooter sort of is a double entendre because on one hand it represents, a video game, and it's funny how we take these terms and we sort of gamify and glorify them. But in real war situations, of course, it doesn't lead to it leads to terrible outcomes. But the song is about, again, this idea that people around the world, though they may be in a war with each other, especially when it comes to young people, they don't understand why they're fighting each other. Because when they look across at the other person, they just see themselves.
If you don't kill me, I won't kill you. If you don't kill me, I won't kill you. First person shooter shot me down. Doom all around. First person shooter shot me down. Doom on the ground.
From Door to Door is about the Nazis going to each door and banging on that door, smashing that door down to find Jews that are hiding. And I can only imagine the fear that these people felt day after day after day for years hiding. And I wanted to try to create sonically that fear, the anxiety of this idea that you're hiding and all of a sudden there's this bang at the door. And if you don't answer that door, what's going to happen? So that's what Door to Door is about. Lost Love Story is about a young couple in love that wants to be married, and they're hiding. They're in hiding. And It tells the story of them being found and ultimately separated.
Hiding with you down under the stairs, knowing that one day they'd find us. Keep very still, don't be scared. God will protect us, I swear.
Death Train is about the transport of Jewish people and other prisoners across Europe to the concentration camps. And it's something that I always found didn't get talked that much about, the train rides, the actual transport, but people could be on a train for days and days at a time with no food and no water. You don't talk about them as much, and they don't get talked about as much historically. This song was my attempt to sort of try and capture that moment. No One to Remember was one of the hardest songs to write, and it was a very painful song to write, because whenever you think about a life being lost, especially a young life, you think, what could that person have become? They could have gone on and done so many amazing, incredible things. And so this song is about a mother with her baby son in her arms, thinking about all the things that this boy could turn into and become, and before they're both sent to the gas chamber. This is as bad as it gets, and was very difficult and tough, and I really struggled with, like, how do you create this thing sonically but still do it in a dignified way? So that was my goal, and I don't know if I achieved it or not. So I didn't want it to be too dramatic, rather symbolic. And so this song is about being in the gas chamber and wanting things to end as quickly as possible. Shema is the most important song, arguably, in the Jewish religion. The song symbolizes one people under God, and it's sung every day in prayer at high holidays. And I'm not a very religious person, but even if you're not a religious Jewish person, you will know this song, because it's sung anytime you go to synagogue, anytime you're in a situation where there's prayer. And it's also, very importantly, a song that is deeply personal, even on an individual level. And people sing it when they're in a situation where there's fear